Donnie and Dolly, the team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Castles, Naslin, Bertuzzi, Morrison, Jovanovski, a face-off win! Bertuzzi scores!
Oh, lots of fun. All of our guests today brought to you by Able Auctions, ableauctions.ca, our title sponsor. Todd Bertuzzi, all part of the White Spots Legends weekend at the LEC with the Giants. Friday to Sunday at the Langley Event Center, the 2022 Western Canada Collectibles Experience. Todd will be there signing autographs along with Jeremy Roenick, Richard Berdeur, Gino Ojic, members of the 1972 Team Canada squad that defeated the Russians in the Summit Series. We're joined now by Todd Bertuzzi. Todd, long time no talk to you. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, guys. How are you guys doing?
Really well. You know, we just ran a goal of yours. It was from a Game 3 against Detroit in 2002. Just looking at a lot of the highlights from back then last night, how proud are you of the fact that you guys played such a wide-open, entertaining style of play during the dead puck era?
You know what? I think what we take the most credit for and enjoyment for is that we made Vancouver must-see watch TV, especially in the East Coast. People would tune in because we were playing a brand and a style that was not familiar to a lot. We had a lot of leeway, a lot of rope in order to play that way. We were entertaining. We'd win 7-6, but we entertained every single fan and every person that watching TV. And I think the fact that we put a lot of butts in the seats and brought Vancouver back on the map, and then obviously the Sedins and many others took it to another level. But I think just that we brought entertaining hockey back to Vancouver. It was much watch TV.
Todd, would you have had more success if you locked things down more?
I don't know. I've actually never been asked that. Well, if you're asking a 47-year-old version of me, yes. If we played more of a 200-foot game, I played in Detroit for 6 years where defense was first. I played with guys like Zetterberg and Datsuk, who could have been 100-plus point guys that were never that. But they also won 2 to 3 Stanley Cups. So in hindsight, yes, you can say that. But at the same time, I think at the start we were more looking to kind of put Vancouver back on the map, bring some entertaining hockey. We had a lot of teams that we're chasing down. We had the Colorados, we had the San Jose's, we had the Detroits. I think if you look back on it, I think in hindsight, yes, probably if we would have played that way. But we were built around entertaining and playing that brand of hockey. And we still thought that we could win and bring a cup to Vancouver playing that way.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You mentioned the Sedins there. They go into the Hockey Hall of Fame. You were around when they first broke into the Canucks organization. What were your first impressions of them?
Oh, I'm so impressed and proud of both Danny and Hank. They came in with a lot of notoriety, a lot of talk, and all this kind of stuff. They had to endure a lot too. This league wasn't a pushover league; it was a bit of a bully league, and they had to endure a lot of trash talking, a lot of guys coming after all that. But they never changed their game. They stayed calm, patient, collect, and I think the thing that I was most impressed with is each year they conditioned themselves better mentally, physically, in order to take another step each and every year and carry that franchise to where they did.
Todd, it was only 4 or 5 years ago you were doing a morning hit on Vancouver radio talking about the Canucks and what a mess they were, and here we are, Todd, still. As a former member of this franchise, how tough is it to see they're just not turning it around yet, Todd?
Yeah, it's disappointing. I feel for the players, man. I've been in rooms that have not had success, and And I think we can all say and understand that Vancouver at times could be a very, very hard market, and I think rightfully so at times because they're the people who pay the money to come. Do I agree with throwing the jerseys and all that kind of stuff? No, I don't. I don't think some of these people understand the amount of work that these guys are actually putting in. They're not going out there to lose. I could say that, and I know that for a fact. It's unfortunate things aren't clicking, and when you don't get off to a good start in a hockey market with fans who expect a lot, unfortunately, you see those kind of things. And unfortunately, with how the temperature is and all that, those can lead into a lot of consecutive losses, which it has. But albeit it's still early, I think the great Kenny Holland always said, we'll know what our team looks like by American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So there's still a little bit of time to get some wins and change the shape of things. But at the same time, I can understand the amount of frustration by, I think, ownership, top management, and the players and the fans.
Hey, Todd, what do you like about today's game, and what are some things you don't like about today's game?
I love how talented and skilled all the players are. I really do. I think you go from the first line to the fourth line. I think pretty much the fourth liners can sub in on the first line and not miss a beat and kind of contribute in their own little way. I think how everyone skates now, the puck handling. The one thing I love the most is the confidence. I really wish back when I was playing that we all would have had that kind of confidence. Yes, I did have confidence and all that, but I always found that the coaches may have taken away a little bit of the skill, the creativity, and the entertainment part of it. I love stick handling. I love trying new things and all that, but it seemed that stuff was always frowned upon. I find these kids are coming in now, and they're able to try and do a lot of these. And I actually really, really hope that the coaches stay out of the way and allow these kids to show their creativity, because I think our sport and the game of hockey is at the best it's ever been. And as far as dislike, I don't know if there's really any dislike. I think it's a little less physical. You still have your guys. I think there's more emphasis on team tough, just playing harder between the whistles. I don't think you get that. Remember, we came up in an era where it was a full circle era, and I have a lot of respect for the tough guys that played and all that. A lot of them were my friends and all that, and I know a lot of them to this day, and I respect them highly and all that. I just find that that has drastically changed, and is it for the better? I don't know if it's for the better, but at the same time, you still have your handful of guys that can still drop it and do it. But I think overall, I think the game's in a very good place.
Hey, Todd, you returned to Rogers Arena in 2019, and you received a huge positive ovation. I think it was the biggest ovation of the night. How special was that, and what type of ovation, what type of reception did you expect?
No, I was quite excited to hear that they wanted me to come back. Obviously, I think everyone kind of forgets on how everything went down and all that. I think people should be a little bit more complimented that I actually brought in someone who was a Hall of Famer, Roberto Luongo, in a trade and all that. And I just wish that the people would just appreciate the amount of work that I did while I was there, because I was a diehard Canuck player. I lived and died by that city, and I did everything I could to bring a championship to that. But in the same time, when we knew that it wasn't possible or something needed to be changed, that I left and Roberto Luongo came in. So I think people got to start looking a little bit more of how everything transpired and all that. And do I wish I would have been a lifer Vancouver Canuck? Yes, I love the city. I love coming back. I'm thrilled that I get to come back for this weekend. I'm hoping that people come out and tell stories. They come shake hands, people who've never met me. or just watch me on TV. I always look forward to coming back to the city. I always try to get back to Whistler to go skiing each and every year. It's one of my favorite places in the world, but Vancouver itself well, I will always be fond of it. It'll be considered like a home to me, and I always look forward to coming back and seeing everyone.
That was a special day. Positives outweigh the negatives when it comes to Vancouver for you, Todd?
Oh, 1,000%. I had so many more positive than negatives. The negatives are just unfortunate situation for all. I think everyone paid the price, and a lot of people suffered. A lot of people suffered a lot more than what people even know. And sometimes the optics of it gets clouded to how everything transpired and went down. But no, I had so many good years, so many good friends that we all still keep in touch and still talk to Jovo often, try to keep in touch with Matthias and obviously Marcus and Mo. And Mo actually just moved up to Michigan here for his kids to play hockey. So I'm hoping I get to spend a little bit more time seeing him. But no, overall, everything, Dan Kluche, all the people, man, we had such a great group of people. It's actually one of those groups that would be fun to get all back together again and see and all that. But no, they 1,000 times outweigh anything that was ever negative.
You mentioned you're in Michigan. For people that don't know, Todd, what are you up to these days?
When I retired in Michigan, I stayed in Michigan, so I've been here for about 14 years now. Right when I retired, I coached my son's team at the Oakland Grizzlies for 4 years, and then he went off to play junior hockey, and he's now playing in Norfolk with the Admirals in the East Coast Hockey League. My daughter lives out in Boston, trying to get into hockey and the social media aspects of it. So spending as much time as I can with them, helping them and doing all that. And then obviously I'm trying to get to a lot of my son's games and support him and try to help him out. Junior was very, very tough. He's with some hard organizations, some not very good coaches. So, and I know a lot of parents and kids can attest to that sometimes the coaching isn't the best everywhere. So I'm trying to do my best to support him and help him out and try to help him as he follows his dreams and my daughter. And then myself, I'm trying to get in something. I got something maybe brewing coming up and all that. I'm not sure, so I'm trying to be patient and hopefully something comes up. And I have been off for about 8 years, and I've enjoyed every second of it, sitting back and just being with my kids. So.
This has been great, Todd. All the best to you, and all the best this weekend out at Langley. We sure appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I hope everyone gets out, and please come on over and say hi. I know there's been a lot of people who have lived in a lot of the different places in BC who've never been able to come out to a game and all that kind of stuff. But you're in the area and all that. Please come on, stop by. You got great guys like Jeremy Roenick in there, and I know we have an event on the weekend for the Can-Am to raise money for charities out there, and I'm looking forward to coming out and hopefully catch up with a lot of people. But thanks for having me on the show, guys. Appreciate it.
All the best, Todd. Thank you so much. Yeah. Todd Bertuzzi. By the way, 9th all-time in Canucks points, and there's always that question. 8 seasons with the Canucks, 9th all-time in points. He's up there in penalty minutes as well, and there's always that thought, does Todd Bertuzzi belong in the Ring of Honor? March 8th, 2004 doesn't help his cause, but I'll never forget that ovation that he received on a couple of occasions when he came back at Rogers Arena, not just 2019. It was very, very special, very popular here. At the very least, it's something you can debate.
And if you put your top power forwards in Canucks history on a piece of paper, he's right up there, Donnie.
Well, Ray Ferraro always mentions that his benchmark for great players in NHL history, do you game plan against them?
Yeah.
And I am 100% sure, and from what I've heard, that, other teams, opposition teams, game planned against Todd Bertuzzi specifically. He was, at one point, the best power forward in hockey.
That's it.
And had a special time here in Vancouver again. The events of March 8th, 2004 aside. Let's go to break with some vintage Todd from that same. They lost the game, but there were some special moments from Todd in that Game 3 against Detroit in 2002, and this was certainly one of them. We saw him score a goal against the Red Wings. Here he is taking out a Red Wing star. We'll go to break and poll question next, Ryan. Poll question next. Donnie and Dolly are the team on Checks and Bertuzzi.
Put back in now. Bertuzzi's out. He nails Chelios. A bold rattling check behind the net. Castles. Side of the goal. Henrik in front. The net knocked right off as Bertuzzi and Chelios continued, and another penalty upcoming.
How about this hit by Todd Bertuzzi as he pops Chelios' helmet right off? And that's a good